I just find it so interesting that the school environment has such a big influence. The demographics and the group and the community in a school has such a big influence on who we become and who we grow to become, and it shapes us, and it's wow. Right, hello, we are here again for this is the fourth take. As in like the fourth, supposed to be the fourth episode, but actually this is just a retake of whatever I said just now that I didn't like, so now I redo again. But anyways, we've got all the time to do it, right? Yes, it is a Saturday, 22nd of February 2025, and all this stemmed from me laying on the bed, feeling so bored, lonely, unproductive, and I just thought, you know what? And then what actually prompted me, what actually pushed me to it was that I was on YouTube and I saw Emma Chamberlain talking to the camera. I didn't watch the entire video. I saw that there was an entire like YouTube channel on it where she's just talking. And I thought to myself, hey, I'm bored. I could do this too. At least it's a bit more productive than laying on bed and watching someone else do it. So here I am. Here I am doing it. And as much as I don't like to talk crap and deliver raw, unscripted productions, I am going to deliver raw and unscripted productions. Yeah. In this episode, I thought I would talk about how we are shaped by the schools that we go to. So in Malaysia, you have English schools, BM schools, Chinese schools, international schools, college schools, and home schools even. And I'm telling you, it's amazing that there are many more schools coming up, private schools, international schools, and Cambridge syllabus schools as well. That's the school that I'm working in. Something that people don't talk about often is how the school that you go to actually shapes the child so much. I have many examples to back up this hypothesis of mine, many observations and encounters, but I don't want to get into too much of a heated debate about this. But if we just start from the surface level, firstly, let's compare like English school, Chinese school, Malay schools, right? Malay as in like BM. I don't mean like Muslim schools, Malay schools. Just the demographics. That's it. Like just start with the demographics. The people who go to a Chinese school, mostly Chinese people, they are of a certain culture, of a certain community, of a certain perspective. They are, what's the word? Homogeneous? Basically, they are one type, right? They share the same culture. But if you were to go to an English school, it might be a bit more diverse. You got Chinese a bit, you got the natives maybe a bit, and then you got maybe the Malays. But they are also of a certain demographic. They are maybe from maybe of a higher class, upper middle class. They're maybe a bit more well-to-do because they can afford maybe a private school, or okay, this may be a stereotype. I think it's a stereotype. Don't come at me for it. Parents who want their children to study English, want English to be their dominant language, are usually parents who want to send their kids abroad, or parents who are capable of sending their kids abroad, or do you see where I'm going with this? I know. I also don't want to say it, okay? And then parents who send children to BM schools, they are of a certain demographic, for sure. You can't debate with me on this, right? And the school that you go to, let's say these three schools, let's not even bring in international schools, right? It's so different. The families that you come from are different. And not just families, but in the school environment itself, teachers, parents, they want to enforce, they want to instill a certain type of culture, they want to instill a certain type of mindset into their children. They have a certain mindset that they want their children to follow. And they want their children to be cultured in that specific way. Meanwhile, if you go to a different school, different schools like English or Malay schools will want their children to be cultured in a different way. I'm just trying not to step on toes here, But I realize it's very difficult to express without giving examples, because obviously I did not plan or script any of this. So we are going to talk it out. Going back to the point that I said earlier, when you send your child to an English school, they want their children to have English as their dominant language because they have bigger plans or long-term plans for their child. And it's different, right? But I'm not trying to say that parents who send their children to Chinese and Malay school don't have long-term plans. No, I'm not. There are parents who send their children to Chinese schools, SJKs and SMKs and all that. And they want to send their children to Taiwan, China. And that itself, before you go to Taiwan and China, you need to know their culture. You need to know the mindset. You need to know that hard work comes first. Hard work is essential. But if you went to an English school or maybe a Cambridge syllabus school or any international school, unfortunately, hard work is not the main thing. I come from a very Malaysian school. I am pretty sure that my viewers are Malaysian. So you and I, we know hard work comes first, right? You have to work hard to get better at studies. But after going to an English school, international school, and then schooling in the UK, no matter how hard you work, just memorizing or remembering or reading and all that, it does not mean you will get better grades. That's just not how it works. You need to have general knowledge, you need to have critical thinking, you need to be able to see from different perspectives, you need to be able to express yourselves clearly, and so much more. Hard work, memorization is sometimes not even in the equation, right? So that's one way that the school environment can shape the child so much, influence the child so much. Right, and we turn out to be such different people, not because of who we want to be, not because of who we aspire to be, but just the environment, the culture. The culture tells us what is right and what is wrong. The culture that your parents send you to tells us what is right and what is wrong. Yeah, I don't know where I want to go with this, because I think maybe because it's not brought up very often, and it's not brought to people's awareness very often, and they think, just sending their children to school is just getting education. But it is not. The school that you go to will determine for a period of time whether you are introverted or extroverted, thinker or doer, feeler or non-feeler, expresser or non-expresser. And I just think, what? Why does the school have this much influence and power over who children become? Why? Why can't children be who they want to be? Why can't children shape their own path and their own personality? Why? Why does the school need... Yeah. Lots of thought going into this. So I really enjoy thinking about things like these. And this ties back to my work as well, that, in as I'm in the classroom and with the students, I try my best not to tell them who they need to be, but to let go as much as possible, let them be who they want to be, and let them take charge. Yeah. But yeah, I hope I am recording. I hope I'm recording.